Recognized as one of America's top liberal arts and sciences schools for decades, Grove City College is highly regarded for Christ-centered learning, academic excellence, and now, perhaps more than ever, athletic excellence. In 2023-24, Grove City claimed an unprecedented 10 conference championships, to go with 9 All-Americans and more than 100 academic honor roll achievers. President Paul McNulty and Athletic Director Todd Gibson have helped lead this charge, and on this episode, they talk about the college's distinctive approach to athletic success. Welcome to the podcast from Grove City College, highlighting excellence, faith, and character in the world of athletics. Welcome to Grit and Glory. It is a real pleasure and honor to have Grove City College President Paul McNulty and Athletic Director Todd Gibson joining us for the Grit and Glory podcast. Welcome to you both.
Thank you very much. It's great to do this with you.
Let's start here. It's a great day to be a Wolverine, right? Oh, yeah. No doubt, yes?
What are these?
Yeah, we've had some success. I mean, last year, when you look at the combined success of our 23 varsity sports programs, the championships, the stats, the records, the individual accomplishments, the All-Americans, the academic honor roll. We'll start with you, President McNulty. You're coming into your 11th year as president, which you've announced will be your last. Yeah. Congratulations, by the way. How proud are you of the success we've had and the direction we're headed?
I just don't know if I can express it adequately. I'm sure I can't. I'm just so thankful for the way just so many things have come together to make this the success that it is. And you put it so well when you think about the full story of the achievements, not just on the field, but in the classroom as well. And these are just some of the most remarkable young people you'll ever meet. And to see them have success is a deep joy. It's right up there at the top of the great experiences of being president of the college.
Yeah. And athletics was a focus of yours from your first year, day one. Yeah. Why was that?
Well, what I came to see is that mission and athletics go hand in hand. The more you understand Grove City College's mission, the more you understand why we care about athletics. Our mission is to equip young people for their vocations in life. And when we use the word vocation, we mean much more than just getting a job. We mean how they will live faithfully for Christ in their lives, how they will live, and not only in their work, but faithfulness in their families, faithfulness in their church, faithfulness in their communities. That they'll be leaders that people admire because of their integrity and because of their commitment to doing things the right way, right? That's what we mean by equipping them for their callings or their vocation. And athletics is like recruiting an all-pro receiver to a team where everything changes in your offense. Like your mission to score now suddenly becomes so much easier because you've got this weapon. Well, athletics for mission just advances it so well. Because in athletics, you are learning in a unique way discipline, devotion, teamwork, selflessness, resilience, patience, right? You're learning things that can hardly be learned in any other environment. And when I started to see how our students were growing like weeds in that experience, when athletics is done right, and that's the key, done right, it advances our mission as a school. And that's why I'm all in on athletics. The more you know about our mission, the more you appreciate that, and it advances the interest of the college in an extraordinary way.
That seems like a unique perspective.
Absolutely. I think what attracts people to our athletic program, and as Paul's talking about athletics being a vital part to the school's mission, our coaches have really embraced, and we've really embraced as a program, athletics being missional and accepting the challenge of doing athletics, certainly at high levels. Our expectations are we want to win championships. We want to compete on the biggest stages and in front of the biggest crowds. But being able to be bold enough to go out and do it differently than other people, and not being afraid of that moment. And under Paul's leadership, and as we've started to grow a little bit in the athletic program, I think our coaches have really just felt emboldened to go out and coach that way. And intentionally, we're going to talk about Christ and what we're going to do. We're going to talk about sportsmanship. We're going to talk about hard work and integrity and all of those things. But hopefully when other people see us play, they look at it and go, there's something different about them. And that helps us in recruiting. But it also, I think, is transformative. And we have examples of it being transformative to opponents, other coaches, other institutions. And I think certainly it's helped gain fans even from our own community.
Well, the transformation has been distinct. I mean, anybody who follows Grove City Athletic, we've had some success. I was the SID here for years. We've had All-Americans and PAC championships, but this is another level. We've hit another level. What has keyed, what has sparked this transformation?
Yeah, when I think about all the ingredients, I'd say there are three things in particular. First of all, people. We have hired great people, and we've hired more people. I mean, one of the things that I learned when I got here was we expected so much from our coaches. They were coaching 2 sports. They didn't have assistants. I had a funny conversation one time with Andrew DiDonato when he was a brand new football coach. I said, Andrew, how's recruiting going? And he said, well, I've had trouble getting on the road because I'm teaching bowling in the afternoon. I said, I'll teach bowling. You go recruit.
Wow.
And once I started understanding how our resources were limited, I started pushing for and working with Todd on, let's get one coach per sport. Let's get an assistant coach for everybody. Let's get expertise. Let's get the right people. And most importantly, let's get people who understand our mission, that they understand what it means to have a faith-first culture, which is what we like to say. All right. Secondly, preparation. We built a strength and conditioning program and we worked hard at that. And we saw our athletes in better shape than our opponents and our facilities. This is work to be done. And one of my top priorities is to continue to raise funds to expand our facilities to keep up with the success of our program. But preparation is key when you have the right people coaching. And then thirdly, thanks to Ryan Briggs, who just gave me the word, passion, which is inspiration. We were very intentional about things. This is all part of a plan.
Yes.
Todd and I sat down and said, why do we have 6 or 7 different shades of red? Penn State has 1 shade of blue. Ohio State has 1 shade of scarlet. Yeah. Grove City College has to have 1 shade of crimson. Go out and talk to the vendors and make the best deal. And we got a color that some of the alums said, whoa, that's not the color we have. And I said, well, it's the color we have now.
Yeah, you had to change the whole arena, didn't you? Yeah.
We're going to be on the
mats,
same.
the floor, everything.
Yeah, we're going to be in the same, we're going to look the same across the board. I love this photograph. This picture is a picture I want to keep on my wall as an old man when I'm in Minnesota, because it captures the way Wolverines together started to work, where we look like one big team. And so branding, putting our branding all over campus. He can talk better than I can about fan support, but I kind of get a little excited at games.
We're going to miss that.
Well, I do enjoy doing it. It's natural for me. But there's also a purpose to it. I'm trying to create a culture where we enjoy being out together and that we are supporting our team with enthusiasm. Why should a D3 school not have its song?
Right.
Why should we not be distinctive in the way in which we celebrate this moment together as a community? So all those things about getting people stirred up, creating opportunities, even bringing like the band into the arena for basketball games, the pep band, it's part of the idea that we're trying to pursue excellence in the way that we motivate and care about this.
Yeah.
And when those things are blessed and as they come together, great things can happen.
No doubt. I want to give you a chance to speak to the transformation too, Todd. Obviously, great leadership has to be part of that transformation here, and also talk about Wolverines together. And that was a phrase that came during your tenure here, which is fantastic. I love it. I think like never before, the teams do support each other. It is one school rooting for each other, trying to win championships and all sports trophies. We got them both, right? We got them both. Man, has that
First
ever
time in 18 years.
18 years.
I still got both of them.
So tell us, what's your thoughts, Todd?
Sure. So when I was just beginning in this role, Paul had been president for maybe a year and a half or 2 years, and I was in sort of an interim role for a little bit. And so the sort of behind the scenes story is Mike Dreves, our soccer coach, was at that time we were all teaching also, so he was handling the academic side of things, and I was handling the athletic side of things. So we just decided, well, someone else was going to have the job. So while I was doing it, we were just going to try to do as many things as we could and just see what happened, because it may not matter. But when we thought about building an athletic program, the conversations that Paul and I had, and sometime we could share with you the story of him pausing the homecoming parade to call me over to his car and saying, "Why do all the teams have different colors of red?" And I said, I don't know. That's just the way it is. Yeah. And then he said, well, we need to talk to companies. And the homecoming parade, as he was in the car going to the track, was paused. And I said, "Are you telling me you want me to call Nike and Under Armour?" And he went, "Yes." And then the homecoming parade continued. So that's where that actually, where that started.
I would have forgotten the idea if I had.
Yeah, right. So we think a lot about the core values of the college, and all of our coaches have on their desk, they're required to have, they have the 5 core values of the college. We give them up. So we've just hired 2 new head coaches. They both will have that pinned right in front of them. And so every decision we make, we ask every coach, anything that I do, certainly, we ask them to make sure it reflects those core values. And one of the biggest things at Grove City College, or biggest values that I think impacts athletics, is community. There's, to me, there are few other examples, church obviously, but think of the community of whether it's a Grove City College football game where you have 100 football players, this year many more than 100 football players, but 100 football players and their families, and then fans, and then the marching band, and you can kind of sort of see the concentric circles as they go out in that community environment. And we were really thinking about ways to grow our community, but also make sure that others on the campus understood that they were equally part of our community. Mm-hmm. And so Dave Fritz, our swimming coach, he's a great ideas person, and he said, "I really think we should have," social media was kind of in its, not in its infancy, but sort of get going with hashtags and everything. So he said, "We should really think of a phrase that encapsulates what it is we're trying to do." Mm-hmm. And so he and I talked about it, and we came up with Wolverines Together, and there was another one which is one that he uses a lot, and we sometimes, which was Always a Wolverine, because you could make it. So we came up with those two and just started putting hashtag Wolverines Together on things, and this one really took off. But when I explain Wolverines Together to people, the best way I can describe it is when we talk about our athletic program, the Grove City College athletic program, it really means our athletic program. Mm-hmm. So certainly all of our athletes and our coaches and our administrators that are involved, but the staff, administrators in offices outside of athletics, the student body, the faculty members, the custodians, the maintenance workers, anybody that works in operations, all of those people are part of everything that we do. So when I think about the All Sports Trophy, it's the best example of all of us doing something together. Mm-hmm. Because someone sweeps the basketball court before we play a basketball game. We have equipment men that make sure that our football players' helmets are pieced together the right way, so everybody's in on a certain play. There are so many people, our faculty members. We set the record last year for the most academic honor roll students in the history of the PAC. Well, that's a faculty award. That's something that they work with our student athletes. Our coaches certainly are part of the academic preparation, but the faculty are involved. And making sure the students are motivated to come here and continue to come back. That's a faculty award. That's Don Opitz and the chapel staff. So we really wanted Wolverines Together to represent all of us, and we've put it all over the campus. And I think sometimes people might say, well, it's getting a little redundant, but we can always come back to that same message, which is it's community, and we want you to be part of it. We talk about our athletic department wanting to be more inclusive to our campus than exclusive, because so many schools that I think struggle, the athletic department and the rest of the campus are here and they're rivals, and we want to be the opposite.
Yeah, and I feel like Wolverines Together, that brings in alumni too. I feel as an alum that I'm part of this whole movement too. And
you see what Todd's passion is all about.
Yeah.
And we go back to people, right? And so I'm just so thankful for him because, in my first year, our longtime athletic director, he retired. And So it meant, what will the direction be, right? And Todd mentioned he was an interim, and I'm brand new to the job, so I have to learn what I'm looking for, right? And we've just enjoyed our partnership so much. We think so alike, and I trust him so much as he brings coaches on board, and we've had some amazing stories where we'll recruit a candidate for a coach, and that person will step away at the last minute, and he'll send me an email sad about it, and kind of like, oh no. But usually there's always that sense of trust in there, and then someone else will emerge who we would have picked in the first place, and we're thrilled with it. We've had some great experiences that way, and we've just really seen God's hand on all of this. And I would just also say that if you're an alum or a parent and you are concerned about where the culture is today, like where society has gone, the polarization, the coarsening of the culture, the way that vice has become so acceptable. I mean, so many things that are discouraging. If you look at Grocery Athletics, you should be encouraged.
So refreshing.
Because we are upstream from culture. And we are working with young people so intentionally to be a remedy to culture. People who come here maybe not knowing what's going to happen to them, and they are so transformed by the experience they have that they leave here as remarkable human beings. And some of it has to do with adversity. I think of one female athlete last year, or a few years ago, she was our star basketball player and star lacrosse player, and she blows out her knee in basketball. And it's just so heartbreaking. But what happens? She perseveres in faith, strong faith, trusts the Lord's plan, and she heals, and she comes back and she has a great senior year. And that's the kind of story in the lives of young people that we get to witness, but it's why people should be so encouraged, because there is hope. It's a hope that we're doing something different. It's countercultural, and will produce the kind of people that the world desperately needs.
No doubt. That may be part of the answer to my next question. For somebody watching or listening right now who says, you're a nationally recognized school, known for great academics in a Christian environment, why spend so much time and resources on athletics? What's the answer to that?
Because that's the mission you just mentioned. We're known for this great mission. We're known for being a school that's very principled and conservative and Christian and different, and what we say in our vision statement, highly distinctive. Great. But in order to achieve that, it comes back to what's happening in the lives of the students, and that goes back to athletics. Take athletics out of the picture, it's not like the mission falls apart, because our students who aren't athletes are doing great things too. I mean, I try to get to every concert that goes on as well. I look at an orchestra as this sort of picture of community, of everybody bringing their musical talent into a group together to make one beautiful song. So there are lots of places where great things are occurring. It's just back to that illustration of the star receiver. Athletics is just this component to the overall mission that can do it in an extraordinary way. And other schools are using athletics to fill their beds, and they're hanging by a thread in every other way. Not at Grove City College. We're doing fine. Athletics is an enhancement on everything else. And by the way, the students, as we mentioned at the top of this, their GPA is extraordinary as an average, so they're strong students. And I just love stories about how a student is running from a lab where she's doing research with one of the professors in biology on cancer, and then is running to basketball practice, right? I love that.
Yes.
And that's why it's different for us. It's not keeping us just like with our doors open. It's an enhancement over a highly successful school in the first place.
For sure. Todd, you mentioned the academic honor roll, unprecedented this past year. Name some other highlights from the 2023-24 season, championships, et cetera. I spoke in general terms. And then let's get into a preview for what's coming up in 24-25.
Sure. I mean, last year was a remarkable year, really from start to finish, and so picking just a few moments are certainly challenging. I think the best part of last year was it's great when you see hard work pay off. Paul talked about it. There's something about seeing the hard work of student athletes pay off in ways that give them a little bit more recognition. And selfishly for me, I work with the coaches every day and seeing that as well. But I think watching our teams win championships, all of them winning in different ways, but seeing the faces of those players and those coaches, and in 100% of those championships, the first thing they all did was thank God for blessing them with the talents that they had. And the moment that sticks in my mind is women's soccer wins a tough championship game, and they give the trophy to our senior captain, and she's holding it over her head, and she runs to the team, and they all just start shouting for the Lord, and they're holding the trophy up, and that's their number one focus. And there are so many. I mean, obviously, football winning a playoff game on the last play of the game in a hostile environment. Now, a hostile environment to a point, but we talk about community where we probably had more fans because it was standing room only with our crowd, hours away from Grove City, all the way through the springtime with women's lacrosse winning its first conference championship, really as an underdog type of team, and track and field continuing to be consistent, sort of under the radar of a lot of people, but we know they're going to be good, and at the right time.
Just how good last year went.
Yeah.
I hate to move on from it, but winning those 10 out of 22 sports, right? But then it wasn't just those 10 victories. We were in the finals in 3 or so other sports, right? So we're the final in men's soccer. We're in the final in men's tennis. And then in men's basketball, a great example of resilience and perseverance, 50-50 kind of season. They get to the end of the season in the tournament. They lose to Geneva by 1 point with essentially no time on the clock and a really questionable foul call that puts one of their guys on the foul line, right? That's the team that wins the championship. Yeah. They win it decisively against St. Vincent, and they had beaten us the game before by 1 point. It's that kind of story. So we go into this season with a lot of that kind of loaded up.
We're in the hunt for every sport,
Exactly, a lot of that all kind of loaded up. Right. Now, how the Lord brings that all together, how his providence unfolds, is the fun of it all to watch.
Yeah.
But essentially, every sport, we are positioned to be that team that's competing for a championship.
Yes.
Which is a remarkable thing.
Incredible.
And so this is going to be an exciting year to see how
we saw the football team practicing on the way in, and I know Andrew said in an earlier episode of this that he has a lot of guys coming back. So speak to that, and also a new sport for us this year too.
Men's volleyball coming in. Yeah, we're excited about all of our sports. A lot of returners. I think our men's soccer team is poised to have a tremendous season. I think our women's soccer team, all of our fall sports, really, as Paul said, are poised to do great things. Football has the largest roster in the history of the school, and when I say large, 144 players, I think, and 4 student coaches. So there's a lot of human beings on the football field when you drive by. So a lot of excitement there, and again, across all of our sports, the addition of men's volleyball. Why not? We're actually.
That's 24 now, right? 24.
That'll be the 24th sport, and we really think our roster. Last year we participated as a club team, and we had a club program for many years. But we've had 2 classes of recruits. Our expectation is to compete to win the championship there. Something that we talk to our athletes about. We talk about doing things the right way, and we talk about all the things we've mentioned already, but we want to recruit kids who they think about when they were growing up, what they dreamed of. Like last year, we talked to the football team before we played Carnegie Mellon and beat them in a great game. Talk to the team about, you don't dream of growing up and playing college athletics and playing teams that aren't very good or games that aren't meaningful. You dream about playing in the big game and being in those big moments. And the great thing is for really all of our teams, we're in a situation where we can give them that experience.
Yeah.
And that's speaking from experience, that's something that really only sports can provide.
That's special.
You know, one of the teams that really I think helped turn us around was men's lacrosse. I think men's lacrosse got me realizing that we could be a national sports program.
From club to
varsity, but from as soon as we touch varsity, we win the championship.
I know,
right? We get a coach who's just extraordinary, a man who is all about doing it the right way, and recruiting amazing kids, and in a sport where when you do it the right way, you stand out. And so we're recruiting great kids because those families see, I want my son to play lacrosse in the good culture, right? And then, we're going into the NCAAs, and I'm starting to realize, oh, I like being in the NCAA tournaments on sports. And it really did kind of give us, I think, a sense of confidence that it didn't have to be just lacrosse, that this can be a story for us, right? Men's basketball several years ago won the championship just as COVID hit, and they won their first round NCAA game. That was the first time that a PAC school won a first round game of the NCAA tournament. And then COVID hit and it ended. So we started feeling things about 6 years ago that gave us belief. And that's why this year, lacrosse is always thinking about how do we improve. They went and played Bowdoin in the first round of the NCAAs last year, and they saw what a really strong, long-term strong program is all about again. But they played tough games in order to be able to get themselves ready to go deeper into that NCAA tournament. Women's lacrosse winning last year too was also like a great accomplishment for a coach who was only in her second year of the program. So we have seen a lot of things. Men's baseball has just been consistently strong, and it's just a matter of, do we have enough pitching to beat W&J in the end, right?
Yeah.
And Matt Royer is like right out of central casting when it comes to baseball. So we're just blessed with so many stories that are compelling, and all of it on this great foundation of culture. That's why we're so excited.
As we're wrapping up here, we've had all this success lately in very good facilities that have been upgraded over the years, but we have some stuff in the works, some blueprints that are quite remarkable.
Yeah.
Can you touch on that?
Yeah, being a school of 2,000 plus students has got a lot of challenges to it. It's a fairly big enrollment when you think about facilities. And everyone who's alum knows that the PLC has been our workhorse. And the IM room is our own big place along with the arena to be able to practice. And students want to go and just have fun, and at times they want to play basketball, they want to work out. And we just don't have adequate facilities to accommodate all of the growing varsity needs and students generally. So what we need is another facility like the IM room that can, serve for a practice facility for in the wintertime. Indoor track is one of our strengths now, and we can have an indoor track facility if we have some kind of dome or bubble. So we have that on the horizon, which would be on the old soccer practice field. Our baseball field is in terrible shape, and we have the best baseball team for the worst field in the country. If there was a formula for that, we'd be number one. And so we've got to fix that problem. We've got to get a new baseball field, and we have a plan. It would be on the IM field, and again, raising funds to have a baseball field that really could be a regional facility and be a wonderful resource. And then the field house, 140 plus football players in a field house that was built like residential property in 1980. And we're just keeping that thing, going, and not to mention our team. But then we have the visiting team there. We have referees. I sometimes feel like it's one of those, clowns in a Volkswagen, how many can get in there and get out. It's just crazy how much we jam into that building. We need a new field house, and we have great plans for one behind the stands, the home stands, and the press box. So that's what's on the horizon. It's in the campaign. Our $185 million campaign, phase one, includes these athletic facilities. And so one of my priorities for the year is to continue to push to be able to raise funds to be able to support this remarkable story. And without that, it is going to hold it back. With it, I think it's going to go to the next level. To be that national champion in sport after sport, we do need a little elbow room to practice.
No doubt,
right?
for sure.
You got to have preparation, and so with that, I think the sky's the limit.
It will be transformational in so many ways. When I think of the Fieldhouse Project, for example, I can close my eyes and I can think about that moment when we open those doors and athletes come in, and not just football athletes, but football and lacrosse and tennis players and other athletes using potentially a weight training facility, but just that moment of that addition to their experience, and then thinking about what that will mean for our recruiting, but also just our ability to care for the athletes we have. So all three of those facilities will take programs to the next level, and the Dome project really will benefit the whole campus, giving other students an opportunity to go down and play basketball and do things that they have limited opportunities to do because we have so many practices, and that's something that's always on our mind. So yeah, very exciting.
All right. Community will be greatly served, by the way, by the new field house. We want to have it really kind of a plaza. It'll feel like a little bit of a minor league baseball.
Right.
You know, a plaza behind the stands where you could have picnics and you can look out at the game being played, and there's more of that sense of community. Our homecomings are jammed in there, you know, on a little piece of muddy grass or something. We need to spread out a little bit and have a real sense of a community experience together, and have a gateway into town where people can feel that connection. That's part of the vision there too.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you guys joining us today. Really appreciate your leadership, where you've taken this program. It's an exciting time of year. Hope to see you dancing this fall. You will be, with Willie and the cheerleaders. One last one.
I may get Brenda involved. So,
all right.
So come to the night game, because you know, hey baby needs somebody else in that dance. So.
All right. Well, best wishes and thanks so much.
Right, thanks.
Take care, guys.
Thanks for tuning into Grove City College's Grit and Glory podcast. To follow our varsity sports teams online, visit athletics.gcc.edu. To find out how you can support the new athletic facility projects and the Impact 150 campaign, visit gcc.edu/Impact150. Don't forget to listen to Grit and Glory wherever you listen to podcasts. More episodes featuring excellence, faith, and character in the world of athletics are coming up. Until then, I'm Joe Klimchak. Bye for now.